Hi there, my name's Young. I'm a real estate agent, and today we're going to talk about overlong information. It's a home buying roadmap. I didn't realize that I actually didn't make a video out of this. One of my buyer asked me, can you tell me how it works? What's the process from A to Z? So while I was doing that, I was like, okay, you know what? I've been answering these questions many times. I thought I made a video, so I was trying to send a video to my client. Then I realized I actually didn't make a video. So here we are reading this through, and we're gonna go through this together. Although this says the ultimate first-time home buyer's roadmap, it applies to anybody who's buying a home for the second time, third time, or multiple investor as well. It's the same roadmap, but we have first-time home buyer as well. So again, I'm just going to read this part here. Navigating the Canadian real estate market as a first-time home buyer or buyer in general can feel overwhelming. This framework is designed to align your purchasing team, your realtor, mortgage specialist, and solicitor, ensuring your financial assets are protected and the transaction flows smoothly from initial planning to closing date. So as you know, I do work with a couple of mortgage specialists, and I work with multiple solicitors as well. And they are very important for myself and my clients, just because if I have any questions, if I have any questions regarding how the deal process is going, what the mortgage is going, I have direct access to them and I can ask them without a question, without any hesitation. Whereas if I work with anybody else, new solicitor or new mortgage specialist, they might give me a hard time, or they might not answer to me as fast as possible in that matter, especially solicitors. Solicitors are very hard to get to, and if I have questions regarding our deal and I need to wait a day or two to get in contact with that solicitor, it's very challenging for me as well. So it's important that everybody that I know that are working together with me and my buyer, I need to make sure that we are all taking care of my buyer. That if we have any questions, we have a concern, we can get that addressed right away. That's why it's working with everybody else is great and it's very important. And I need to have a good relationship with them all the time. And I need to make sure that they understand my clients are important as well. So the phase one, preparation and financial planning. The first part is for first-time home buyers. So maximizing your first-time home buyer tax tools. So as a first-time home buyer, you're eligible to make first home savings account. It's called FHSA, and you can utilize up to $40,000 altogether. And this is tax-free. And you need to have it at least for 5 years, or for you to have $40,000 lifetime limit. If you're planning to buy within 3, 4, or 5 years, this is the account that you want to make right away as well. And this is tax deductible, so you don't have to pay taxes for the $8,000 you put into FHSA. And second, home buyer's plan. So home buyer's plan is basically the amount of RRSP that you put down for your future. You can withdraw $60,000 tax-free from your RRSP to purchase a home. I mean, of course, as you know, our RRSP is tax deductible savings. You pay taxes later when you withdraw. So this is a good deferring taxing tool that you have. And with this, first-time home buyers can also withdraw $60,000 from your RSP. The downside is you do have to pay this back within 15 years. So that's a disclaimer that you need to know. And that's then if you're let's say if there's a couple that's buying as a first-time home buyer, for both of them, they can technically withdraw $200,000 as their down payment, which is a whopping amount of money for a down payment, right? Second, securing a mortgage pre-approval. As for me, it's not so important for me whether you have mortgage pre-approval or not. The only questions I ask is, can you just tell me what your income is? And then from there, at this time in 2026, it's around 4 times to 4.5 times of your income to get your mortgage. So that's the only things that I'll ask. The only reason why I would say getting a pre-approval is important, try to get a pre-approval letter from your mortgage agent. Then usually they go through process with you, and you can how much you're eligible to get. But secondly, you're also able to see how much mortgage payments would be per month. And depending on, it's also your job to ask your mortgage broker how much would it be if I paid this much, if I paid this much down payment, how much my mortgage payments would be. And I'm trying to and have a good balance of what you're trying to get for your monthly fee for your mortgage. Again, it outlines maximum mortgage principal you qualify for, and it also prevents you from looking outside of your realistic budget. And realistic budget is very important, and I think realistic budget for monthly payments is very crucial for your financial well-being. And third is define your search criteria. This is the most important part from my perspective and for me, just because I think every points for these are very important for your home buying journey. And if I may just say now, it's property value and budget, ensuring it aligns with your comfortable monthly carry cost. That's a huge part. Second, school district. Whether you have children or not at this time, having good school district within your home is very crucial for your future appreciation and future when you're trying to sell and move on to the next property or for your exit plan down the road. Third is transit and logistics. So for some people, it's very important that you want to be close by to your workplace as close as possible. That's important, but it's also important for some people who wants to take highway as well. So they want to be close by highway as much as possible. So those are important. And of course, some people do value going to subway or GO Transit as well. So they want to have easy access to those public transit as well. And bus route is important as well. So those are some of the needs and wants, right? So that's something you need to think about as well. And lastly is lifestyle amenities. Is it important for you to have grocery stores, walking distance to, library, to park, to community center, to local shops or grocery store? Did I say grocery store again? Yeah. Or restaurants. If those things are very important, then, you need to be within the certain area that does deliver that. And of course, having all these four combined together, home prices do go up. That's unfortunately how it works. So it's your needs and wants and your gives as well. So you have to figure out which are most important for you and what you can give and what you can take. I think those are the important steps with you figuring things out when you're trying to buy a home. Then it's you and I have a more strategic consultation to make sure where we can go, where we should aim for, what kind of property that we want to go for, what kind of budget that we're looking for, to make sure that we are well pointed and we work in this area that you and I feel very comfortable going into. No matter how good the area is, if the price is out of your reach, then you can't buy that area. And of course, if the house needs more TLC, then the home value could be lowered. But that also means you have to put a lot of liquid cash to make that house the way that you want. And that also goes out of your budget. So it's very important that we have a very realistic set of numbers, set of prices that we're working at, and realistic area that we look at. For example, if you want to go to, let's say you want to go to Bay, where's a good area? Yeah, let's say that you want to buy at Danforth area for $700K. Yes, it's possible, but that needs a lot of love to the property. You need to spend at least $200,000-$300,000 in liquid cash to make the house look good. You can't buy that. You can't buy in that area with that budget. But if you were to buy between 1 to 1.3, then you have a good chance of buying in that area. So that's something that you need to talk about and have a heart-to-heart conversation and see where you can go and have a realistic expectations for both buyers and the real estate agent as well. Because ultimately, I want to get you the best place. I want to find you the right place. But if it's not going to work out, it's not possible, unfortunately. So moving on, the search and securing the contract. So once we figure out where we are planning to go for, once we figure out what kind of budget we're looking at, what kind of expectations that you want, then we can pinpoint a couple of areas that you are interested, and eventually it narrows down to one specific area, and that's when we will conduct our showings. We'll go to different neighborhoods, different areas to see where it fits you the best. Because looking at a picture is one thing, but going to see the neighborhood, going to see the place, going to see the house is a completely different story. It could be so much better in a picture, but it could be very disappointing when you see it in person. And some houses doesn't look that great in the photos, but when you go and see it, it actually is so much better than photos. So there's some gives and takes in that sense, and that's why it's very important that you take a look and see the houses and see if there's anything wrong with the houses, you can find any problems, or how you love the house. All those things will matter to you, and I believe we need to see at least 20, 30 houses to make sure that you feel comfortable and understand what kind of house that you're looking for. Yes, if you're a very experienced buyer, then you may already know and envision what you're looking for. But most of the first-time home buyers, or buyers in general, are unaware of what they really want. So it's really important for them to actually take this step and see the properties and see what they like and don't like. It's very important. And once we do like the property, once we do like the house, then I will draft an offer. And moving on to the next is review and sign Ontario regulation paperwork. So these are the paperwork that we have as realtors, and we follow the OREA rules, all these OREA paperworks. These are the couple of things that I'll mention right now is RECO information guideline, buyer representation agreement, agreement to purchase and sale, confirmation of co-op, and offer summary form. All these forms are important to have for me to work for you. And of course, when we are writing an offer, that's a time when I will ask you if you have any question, ask me, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions. And I will do my due diligence to make sure that I protect you the best light as possible for any offers that I do give or I submit for you guys. So I have your best interest, and I want to make sure that I protect you as best as possible. And the next is safety and waive legal conditions. So when we do put in an offer to a property, then we have a couple of major conditions. One is financial condition. This is basically you have a mortgage approval that the bank is going to fund you mortgage so you can buy the property. Second is home inspection condition. So home inspection is very important because because as a realtor, I don't have the access to check everything for you, and frankly, we're just conducting a tour. We can't open things. We can't really do our own inspection. Whereas home inspector, they have the right to come to a home, enter a home, and inspect everything as much as possible. So we need to hire a home inspector to make sure we find any defective, and for them to really just thoroughly test mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and foundation, or anything else that they have in their inspection report. And from there, whether we like it or not, that's when we move on, or if we like it, we move on. If we don't like it, then we withdraw our interest and move on to something else. And lastly, this does not apply to homes for freeholds, but status certificate review is important for condominiums. So if you're buying condominiums or condo townhouses, and then we need to also review the status certificate and condominium corporation's financial statements as well, and reserve fund and operational bylaws. So these will be reviewed and conducted by your solicitor as well. And once you're satisfied, then you send notice of fulfillment. Even if it's not satisfied, but you want to still continue with the offer, then we sign the waiver form. So these are important. And if you don't like any of them, if we find anything negative, or we don't like something that we or we can't get the mortgage, or we can't, and we found some like leak in the basement, water leak in the basement, or flooding in the basement, that then we can also leave, get out of the contract as well. So those are there. And lastly, from these purchase and sales is delivery of operational deposit. So in Ontario, in Canada, in Ontario and in Toronto, we do generally give 5% deposit. If it's maybe under 500,000, under 600,000, yes, you can put a little bit less of down deposit because you need that deposit to close on your property. But most of the time, it's 5%, and we do have 24 hours to give the deposit to the listing brokerage. If not, so that's something for you to understand and know that once the offer is accepted, we do need to deposit a bank draft or wire transfer the 5% deposit to the listing brokerage within 24 hours. And what you need to understand is that this money is not going anywhere. It's going to be counted towards your down payment. So let's say you put $50,000 as a deposit. This $50,000 will be used for closing property down the road on the closing date. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be used for part of your down payment. So it's very important that you understand that as well. So it's not going anywhere. So lastly, phase 3 is closing and possession process. So I'll read it from here. While working through conditions, you will select the real estate lawyer. You can select any professional you're comfortable working with. While I maintain active network of high responsive, battle-tested real estate solicitors, I'm completely comfortable with coordinating with any legal professional you prefer. So again, I'll work with anybody, but I do prefer working with the guys that I work with already, just because if I have any questions, they can answer me right away. That's my honest how it works. Not everybody will work with me, and I don't work with everybody else either. So sometimes it's really hard for me to, grab somebody's attention, especially lawyer. That's why I try to work with the same lawyer as much as possible, so they know they know how I work. They know if I contact them, they'll respond to me as fast as possible in that manner. And of course, while you're working with the lawyer, if you're a first-time home buyer, this is the time you tell them that you're a first-time home buyer and you want to use the land transfer tax rebate as well. So next is transitioning the deal to firm status. So once all conditions are fully met or a formal waiver has been executed, then contract is now legally firm and binding. Once everything's firm, mortgage specialist requires MLS full sheet, signed contract, executed waivers, which I will deliver them to them. Once you say you want to work with that mortgage broker or mortgage broker that you as clients prefer. And also, I have to give exact same thing to solicitors as well. And for me, I take full ownership of the central bridge, making sure everybody gets what they need. And if they have any questions among each other, I can answer them, and I can give them the contact information directly so they can contact each other as well. Within one of our conditions when we put in an offer, we do have buyer visits. So we will have usually 2 to 3 buyer visits. I like to put 3 as much as possible. And we use one of the buyer visits for the day before closing, so we can see the property before it closes. And if there's any defects or any problems, then we can tell them that there's a problem and we can work it out with our solicitors. Previously, one of the recent closings that I had in the past is that my buyers were first-time home buyers, and they bought a condo, and they were moved. And the day we had this clause of buyer visit before closing, and when we did have a buyer visit, when we were there, we noticed that toilet was leaking. So we contacted the solicitor and said, "Hey, solicitor, there's a water leak and the toilet, and we need to get this remedied." And eventually, the talk between the lawyers came back and forth, and we got $300 of credit to replace for my buyers to make sure that we change toilet so it doesn't leak anymore. So these are the things that I would do, make sure that we get remedied for and find any problems. And of course, that's one of them. And also, while we have other 2 buyer visits as well, we would go to measure out dimensions as well for your furniture plannings, or just another visit to just look at the house. And important thing for you, mandatory requirement, is that you need to have home insurance binder policy during this phase. I would strongly just suggest that you need to. It is important before you close. You need a mortgage. You need an insurance for your home as well, and the solicitor will ask you. You need to get a home insurance. So this is the time you also make sure that while we're doing the buyer visits, you do your due diligence and hire an insurance broker to get a home insurance. And if you need anybody, I'm more than happy to, pass out a couple of the insurance brokers as well. And the last process is statement of adjustments and possession date. So basically, the statement of adjustment is basically it outlines of what you have to pay in order for you to close. So let's say that you are getting a mortgage, and you need 20% of mortgage. Mortgage amount is there, down payment amount is there. So whatever fees that is incurring, like solicitor fee, land transfer tax fee, prepaid utility adjustments, or anything like that, it has to be paid in a bank draft. So I'll read here for 1 second. A few days prior to closing, your solicitor will provide a comprehensive statement of adjustment detailing the final cash balance required to close, compromising total down payment minus your initial deposit, net land transfer taxes, legal fees, and prepaid utility adjustment. These funds must be securely wired or delivered via bank draft directly to solicitor's trust account. So this is very important. As I said, this is what you need for you to close the property. Without that, then we need to have, we need to delay your, closing. And if you do delays, it costs significant amount of money because the sellers may have mortgages that they need to pay or they need to close for their other property. There would be serious bridge loan cost. And all those fees will be incurred to you. So you want to make sure that you have enough funds, that you have no problem in closing date as much as possible. Of course, a lot of solicitors are not working Friday, so I like to close the properties on either Wednesdays or Thursdays, so that if there's a long weekend, we do it before a long weekend. And if it's like summer, they're not going for cottages on Friday, early day off on Friday, or early day off on Fridays to go snowboarding or skiing or anything like that. Middle of the week is the best. And possession day as well. On the scheduled closing date, the title registries are updated, funds transferred to the seller, and keys are now officially handed over. And congratulations, you got your home. So congratulations again. So I'm going to read what's there as well. Important operational note. Real estate lawyers charge specific service charge fees and disbursements. They are foundational layer of your security network framework, ensuring the assets title is clean, unencumbered, and legally sound prior to taking the title possession. These will be extra costs that the lawyer will charge to you directly as well when you're closing. That will be part of your statement of adjustment. Anyways, I hope I made it as smooth as possible. If I just recap just real quick, make sure that you understand your criteria as what you're looking for. Really, property value, how much of maximum amount of budget or budget that you're comfortable work with. That's important. School district, very important. Transit and logistics, I feel like it's third or fourth important. You can give some as well, but lifestyle amenities as well. It depends on the person, right? Those are very important. And when you do have that all figured out, you go out for showings, we conduct showings and we look at the houses. And if you like the houses, we put an offer together and there will be clauses that we need to, review together and make sure that it's protecting you as best as possible. And once those conditions are all met or waived, then the deal becomes firm. Then you do have to give them 5% deposit in Toronto generally. And then after that, we go through lawyer and we go through mortgage broker, making sure that you're qualified and you can get mortgages through mortgage broker, and then pay off everything with their statement adjustment, how much you owe, how much you have to pay for, and you get the keys on your closing date. Title check is done around 2 weeks prior to closing to make sure that they are who they say they are. And yeah, anyways, I hope I answer all your questions. And if you have any questions, if you didn't follow correctly, I'm more than happy to answer your questions down the road. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a good day. Bye.